right, welcome back to the Career Coaches Podcast, second episode, and I had to bring in one of my favorite career coaches on the planet to be our second guest. So Prashha, before I just get started and have you say hello and everything, I just want to do a quick intro. One is the official one that your team sent me, which is obviously a lot of some of the accomplishments. But two, I also just want to introduce you from my own unique way. So, Prashha Dutra is a TEDx speaker, award-winning podcaster, career coach for women in STEM with a seven-figure business. Through her Believe in Your Brilliance Academy, she helps scientists, engineers, and technologists land 200K plus roles with a 30 to 40% salary increase, which is crazy jumps using a proven 3 pipeline job search and interview system. Now, that's your official one, but I also want to throw you flowers because I've worked with a lot of career coaches in the last couple of years. And I think that one thing that makes you unique is your resilience, your grit, your work ethic, and you just don't give up. Like you are just at it. And you're already smart, but when you have like talent and you have work ethic and hustle, it's like this perfect combination. And so to me, there's no I'm not surprised that you are a seven-figure career coach. We've talked a lot about this. Like 90+% of career coaches struggle to make less than $8,000 a month, right? Less than $100,000 a year. And you're doing that more than that in a month. And so with all that, I mean, I'm excited to just talk about the business of career coaching with you today. So Prashha, welcome to our first podcast on the Career Coaching Podcast, but our third time in a podcast because you are on the How to Get a Job podcast twice. So welcome. How are
Yes,
you?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much. No, it's been a fun few years, and I think, like I was saying before, also is that we've kind of connected every milestone, whether it's starting LinkedIn, whether it's just starting out, like getting back on the podcast train, like a few different places that we've crossed paths. But this last year has been really great, and of course, a lot of it wouldn't be possible without like learning from you guys last year on how to do it like correctly. I think I had all the pieces, but to be able to fit that puzzle in, I think I say to everyone, you guys play a huge role at Opni. So thank you so much.
No, but thanks for the kind words. Obviously, like your success is 99.99999% you, right? Like it is like, and you know this too because you're a coach, right? You're working with women in STEM, and you have women come into your program, and they all don't get the same job. There's some that come in and
Doing a great job, yeah.
just struggle, right? And you're like, wow, they're so smart. They have amazing education, amazing experience. Like they should be able to get X, Y, and Z. And then on the other side, you have somebody who like maybe didn't have with the traditional background, and then comes out and gets a really big job. And so a lot of times it's the intangibles. Like so I said it to you because you actually just executed really well,
Yeah.
and I would say this because I think a lot of people make, and I'm one to make this mistake. I actually think that you're so smart because I don't see you make this mistake, or maybe you made it
Mm.
so much in the past that you don't
Yeah.
see it. But a lot of people hire a coach, or come and hire, whether they're hiring Opni or they hire another coach, or a job seeker hires you as a career coach, and then they don't follow the advice the coach gives them. It's like,
Mm.
why did you pay for that advice? And they always push back, and they let their limiting beliefs block them
Project.
from taking the action that's doing it. I feel like you were you were very successful when you came to Opni. Like we didn't make you successful, right? You were doing a lot already. And I would say you gave me and my team the less friction out of any coach. Like I would get more friction from coaches that haven't sold a client than you that were doing 40, $50,000 a month before coming to
Yeah.
Opni.
Yeah.
Why do you
No, I
think that
think.
is? Where did you learn
N-
that?
No, I think it's just about like so. First, you have to work with the best people in the industry, and when I hire someone, because I've invested maybe 2 to 300K in coaching. I know Salome is still upset with me when she sees those numbers. She's like, "This is ridiculous." But the reason is I don't want to make the mistakes again, like the same mistakes, and I don't want to waste a lot of time. But also, I try to work with the best in the industry as much as possible, and then when I take that risk, I think I I commit to myself that I'll do everything they're saying, like, because they know something. Like, I don't know something. So me fighting with them is just a waste of their time and my money. Like, why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense. We're a team, right? Like we follow each other's advice, and then we can still agree to disagree. But why would we agree to disagree if the goal is the common goal? So I think if you understand the intention is for you to succeed, not, I think sometimes people think that they can shift responsibility, like it's Daniel's responsibility to make me successful. And it's like, no, it's actually not. He's already successful. That's why you hired him. What you need to do is like execute on all the elements that you hired him for. And I think a lot of people don't know like how to make that interaction like smooth for themselves and actually achieve the goal. They lose track of goal just because you paid someone tens of thousands of dollars. That doesn't mean that you are not the execute, like you don't need to do anything. Like, I think people are thinking I'm delegating the problem. You're not delegating it. You actually bring a new team member to like solve it correctly. And then of course you have to be smart enough. I mean, it's just like GPT also, right? Like now we have like advisors at our fingertips with GPT or any other platform. And I think yesterday we all have so many bots open. So I was like chatting with it. I'm like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And one of the things it said was, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And so whenever, even if you guys tell me something and I don't do it, it doesn't have to be a big drama about it. It's just, I just choose not to do it. Like, I feel like people just want to be right versus they forget like the goal in sight, right? Like we can have two truths can be true together. I can be right and you can be right. Like it doesn't have to be like one person has to be right. But I think, yeah, you have to pick the right coach for you, and then you have to trust incredibly in their ability to solve the problems you asked help for. But if you keep meddling with that and you wanted to solve it yourself anyways, then why are you doing it? Like it's like the trust is a very big thing. One of our values as a company is also believe in our brilliance, so we can help others believe in theirs. So when we hire someone, we believe in their brilliance. We really are. Like, I mean, I'm a huge fan of people I work with, and that's why I work with them, because I just want proximity. I just want to spend time with them. And a lot of times it's just that, like that osmosis of, like just seeing best practices, seeing how people treat their teams, or like, especially with you, like how you treat your team, how you hire. It's just, that's all I want. I don't want someone to do the hard work for me. Like that I can do. But I think a lot of people don't want to do the hard work, and they think if I give Daniel like X amount of money, he's going to take all my problems away and never have to work hard. And it's like, I don't believe in that. So yeah, just hire the best. I think it starts with that. Like some people just hire without doing the research or without working, and then they have too much advice coming in too. So when I hire a coach, I lock in for a year. I don't go anywhere. I don't talk to anyone. I block all noise. I'm like, this is the person and they have their positives and negatives, but I'm going to follow everything they're going to say before I change. And it takes a year for a lot of that to pay off, right? Like, so I'm in it. Most all my coaches, my first one, I worked with 3 years with her. My second one, I worked with for like 7 months. The other one, another 7 months, then a year, then a year. So like, I always work with coaches for a year. Which allows me to actually see the results, because other people are only doing it for a month and they don't. How will it takes time for everything to like really pan out. So yeah, I think work with the best and understand what do you need help with. And I have very good understanding of that. That's, I think so. Like I really understand problem solving. So I know that, like I remember when I was working with you, I was also working with another coach, and I knew that that wasn't their strength. Like whatever advice they were giving me for like team building or fixing the program, that wasn't their strong suit. So I was like, I don't know. I don't think they know what they're talking about. So I'm not going to use that advice here. However, I'm going to find someone who's best in this problem solving and solve it with them. So yeah, it's a lot of, yeah, it's just common sense, Daniel. I think people just
Yeah.
make it really hard
Yeah,
for no
we
reason.
complicate it. You said so many things there that I want to hone in and but I also want to like go back to the beginning of your journey as well within this conversation. Something you do so well, and I just want to highlight some of the things you said there that I do think is like I find commonality, and some of the biggest career coaches that I've worked with across it is you you identify what the problem in your business is. And again, it's not like what is the bottleneck that your business has?
Constraint.
And then you are honed into solving that constraint until you solve it. And you find a way to say, okay, who has solved this constraint before successfully? And let me hire out that person
Yeah.
because it's a shortcut of getting there. So you're like, and the example that you gave, and we'll dive into your story. So there's a lot of this kind of will connect back.
Perfect.
You're like, okay, this coach is really good at marketing and sales, but my now main bottleneck is is scaling the client success side. Who's
Yes.
scaled the who's scaled a program where they've onboarded 12 to 15 new clients a week, and who can teach me how to do that. And that's kind of where you came to us. And why I think what's interesting is that you compartmentalize advice. Like you were not asking us marketing and sales because you were already working with somebody who was helping you run ads, which we'll dive into that. But then, like when it came to client success and scaling and building out the team side of it, you like executed flawlessly. And we talked a lot about that. You because I was like, hey, like when you have two coaches or too many people giving you advice, that becomes very difficult because you're like somebody goes turn left, turn right, turn left, turn right. You're gonna go nowhere. And I think you did a really good job, even in the relationship with my team and with the other coaches. You're like, okay, when it comes to ads and messaging and offer, let's go here. When it comes to client success, let's go
Yeah.
here. And you just did such an amazing job. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, Prasha, you're celebrating 6 years in business on Friday, right?
Yes.
And first of all, congratulations. Um,
We
I
didn't give
know,
up.
yeah, yeah. Most businesses fail in the first year.
Yes.
Most businesses fail in the first 5 years. Like 90+% of them don't make it to 5 years. And I would even say, I think that number in career coaching is even higher because most people start career coaching as a side hustle. And so it's
Yeah.
very easy to quit. It's very
Yes.
easy to go back to corporate. And because it's not like a restaurant where you have to rent a location, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars reforming it, like you can essentially start a career coaching business with a couple $1,000, maybe even $0. And so
Mm.
because the barrier to entry is so low, it's also very easy for people to leave. So for you to have been able to scale this, not to get to the 6 year mark, but not only just get there and be like a zombie, like and I say zombie companies or zombie career coach where you're just plateaued at ten
Yeah.
thousand dollars. There's a lot of them who are like, okay, this has become like a really lifestyle business. Why don't you tell us first, where are you in your business now? Tell us as
Yes.
much numbers as you want to
Yes,
share.
of course.
And then let's go back to the beginning because I know people are gonna be like, wow, she's doing all that. It's like the rainbows and
Yeah, yeah,
butterflies,
absolutely.
and then we'll talk about how it's never rainbows and
Absolutely.
butterflies.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So right now, and just I'll answer it like backwards. But like we are at about we closed January at 157,000 in revenue. We're pretty much, yeah, standard cash collected at 111. I think that's where we average out. We have had a couple of big months last year, but like if I'd say the average last year was about 85, 86K. The average this year, we're hoping to be at 111 for cash collected, 154 for revenue. And then we are trying to get to, of course, big numbers this year. So that's the goal. The strategy that has worked really well is quarter over quarter, like just set a number for quarterly growth, which has been super powerful. Then trying to do it month over month, it's difficult to do it month over month. There's too many variables. The time to cash is different, time to close is different. Like a lot of metrics move. Then you also have like holidays and all of that stuff. So that's kind of where we're at. But where we started, it's ridiculous because I just made a post on it the other day too. I made the first $1,000 in 2019 with a talk that I gave at a college, community college. So the first 3 years, I like sort of just dabbled, did a podcast, like did a few things, and that was 9 years ago. And then I got a TEDx, and that's when I like incorporated the business. So I think I incorporated the business February 13, 2020, and then I got my TEDx application approved around like literally a week later or 2 weeks later. So that's when I was still dabbling. I was like, do I want to be a public speaker? Do I want to be a coach? I had a couple of clients. I made my first $1,900 in Milan. I was actually in Milan for my work trip. And then in my hotel room, I was like making this content and like taking a sales call. And it was weird. And I just told her, I said, it'll be $1,900. And she's like, okay, I'm sending you as like a payment. I'm like, what is happening right now? So it was just so amazing. I think everyone remembers their first client. This is so much fun to get that first payment. And I remember, so all of this started, I'll tell you why it all started. Like, I had a podcast and I wanted to do a podcast. So I spoke to Tony Robbins, just the initial call, the clarity call. That's why I'm so obsessed with clarity calls. I'll never get away from it. I'll always have clarity calls. Like, I will never skip that step because it changed my life. I spoke to that lady at Tony Robbins, and she said it'd be 3,500 or whatever. I'm like, yeah, get lost. Like, I don't have the money. It was 2017. I think I was making $68,000 a year. And one thing she told me was like, she just like poked holes in my approach of like, I want to do a podcast, I want to do a fitness podcast, I want to do this, I want to do that. And she's like, no, just do what you're good at. Just do what you are already doing. Do a podcast for mechanical engineers. And I'm like, oh, interesting. And so that's how her STEM story started, which was my podcast. And then I watched a video of Grant Cardone. This is a very weird video. I think every person has seen this video. I actually met someone in Miami, and he said he was in the room when that video was shot at the Cardone office. I don't support Grant Cardone, but anyways, the video was how to make $1 million, right? So he like writes those numbers. He says, if you can find X amount of people and sell X amount of things to X amount of people, that's $1 million. And I was like, that's it. Like, that's what we're going to do. We're going to find a way to sell X amount of people this number of things. And that math has not left my head. And that's why last year was so special, because that number was like really coded in. 84,000 a month has to happen because that means $1 million. Like that's all I cared about for so many years. But that's kind of how it started. I need to sell something. Like, before it was more like fun and let's do a podcast and all of that. But once I saw that video, I think something shifted where it's like, now we got to sell. We got to find people. We got to find a product. And so that's kind of how it like came about. And then the best thing that happened was COVID. So if COVID didn't happen, I think I would have gone down the public speaking route and probably burned myself out. Like we were talking a few years ago in Orlando too, right? Like where you said, hey, I did the talks, I did the book, I did all these things. I luckily got saved from that ordeal because of COVID and everything shut down. So I did a lot of talks through like Zoom and stuff. Never made enough money, so just decided to continue to build the business. Once I crossed my first six figures, that's when I left my job. I didn't have a lot of money in the bank. I said, I'm just doing it. One day it's a very spiritual thing. I kind of heard a voice, like I literally heard a voice that's like, it's time to leave. And I'm like, oh shit. And I literally 48 hours later, I gave my resignation. It was ridiculous. It was so crazy. My husband's still wrapping his head around what has happened because I didn't consult anyone. I didn't tell anyone.
He's happy about it now.
He's very happy since last year, but he was like really not sure what is going on because right after I quit my job, we almost stopped making money altogether. I literally would sleep in bed, like I would do anything. He's like, what is happening? But yeah, I just did that, and I'm glad I did because it allowed me, because my career was also growing quite rapidly. I had a lot of promotions. They gave me they made me the in charge for global D&I. So I was like, there's no way I can keep up both of these. It was good till now, but I need to leave. And I had achieved that goal too. I was in executive leadership. I'm like, that's it, done. We're walking away, and that helped me really focus in on the business. But the fun fact in all of this is that up until this date, except for maybe 70 calls that my closer took last year, I have taken every single sales call, and that's over 1,100 calls, if not more. Like we're still counting. So I want to count it for my birthday party. I'm like, how many calls are there? Like, can we get a number of like how many calls are we doing? And I've spoken to every single client except for those 50, 60 that my closer took in October. But 99% of them are done in myself, and I've built every sale, every dollar has gone through me, and that's been the most fun part. Is that I just didn't take any shortcuts. It's just hard work, and every time it failed, which it did. I mean, August 2021, I almost enrolled for Adam's course because I was like, I'm gonna go to tech now. I'm gonna be a project manager there or something stupid, and. And then all my friends they're like, no, are you crazy? Like, no, no, no. It's like because I didn't have any clients for 3 months. Like I didn't have a client in June, July, August. I'm like, what's going on? Like this is not working. And come September, I had like 14. So I'm like, okay, I think we can survive this. So there were a lot of moments where it just almost didn't work out. Uh, but I think just the fact that I was so close to the product, I was so close to the sales and marketing, um, I felt like I had more control than a lot of other founders who were dependent on agencies or who were dependent on something else that they couldn't control the outcome. And from day one, I knew I could solve any problem. Like I know because I use everything I learned in my engineering. Every tool in my toolbox is from engineering, from manufacturing. And that manufacturing attitude is like, I mean, you walk into plants. I literally walked into a plant one time with the line on fire. Like the line actually had fire on it. It was on fire. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, so I think that resilience from that life was very powerful because I'm like, if we can solve very tough problems. We can fix. And there's a lot of survival mentality in manufacturing. They're just surviving day to day, week to week, week to week. And so for me, I was just drawing parallels from the life that I already had. But yeah, that's how we built it one little sale at a time. And it's been so much fun to do because it's one of the most complicated engineering problems to solve, in my opinion.
your story is incredible, right? And I would tell you that I've never met anybody who's built a successful business that hasn't gone through the entrepreneurship
No,
roller coaster, right?
no, yeah.
Like if
The
you've
rite of
met
passage.
someone, yeah, it is a rite of passage. And it's funny is like the more successful your business is, the more scars you have. And like when you go to dinner with like very successful entrepreneur, like the next stage,
Mm.
they just have bigger scars. Like they
Yeah.
just have like this is gone, they just gone through the roller coaster more. And so it's always really good to surround yourself with like-minded individuals and people who have been where you are.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to go step by step through your
Sure.
journey so
Please.
that if somebody's listening to this, whether they're thinking about becoming a career coach or in the beginning stages getting their first client, or they're already 40, $50,000 a month,
Mm.
and they're like, how do I get to over
Yeah.
$100,000 a month? So let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
Knowing what you know now, right? When do you think it's the right time for someone to start a career coaching business? Is there a perfect time? What would you suggest? What advice would you give to a younger version of yourself?
Yeah. I mean, if there are two questions here, right? Like, when should people start their business, and like, what would I tell myself? But I think the first part is, I said this the day I left my job. Also, I said I'm leaving my job. I ended my job to start my calling. This comes from Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey said that when she left her job to start
Yeah.
her calling. And I think you should only do a business if you have a calling. I truly believe. Otherwise, do passive income, right? Like, do build, like, buy like businesses, buy laundromats, buy, like,
Mm.
do. There's so many more ways to make money. Like, go
Yeah.
invest in the stock exchange. Like, do something that is not requiring you to, like, put your blood and sweat. But I truly believe the only way you can do this is if you have found your calling. So
Yeah.
if helping people is your calling, then don't delay it and do it sooner. If helping people is not your calling, you want to do something else. If getting rich is your calling, which, by the way, is never a good calling, because eventually you'll find out that it's not as satisfying as you thought it was going to be, then just keep doing your job. Like, there's no reason to go through this ordeal. Um, I truly believe purpose over profit. I truly believe that if you do a purposeful business, it has a longevity. So when you find your purpose, it's your job to act on it. So if you found your purpose and you're not taking the right steps, whether it's building a business or like doing the talks or doing the networking or building the website, whatever it is, if you're not acting on that calling, then shame on you, right? Like, that's not okay. Then you're going to be the saddest person in the world. If you have not found your calling, I think your entire life should be about finding it. So when I didn't find it for 3 years, I was literally every night after work, every morning before work, every weekend, I was obsessed. I was like, I'm going to find this thing. And ever since I was a kid, I was trying to find it, because I also had an entrepreneurship venture out of college. So I was trying to find this calling since I was 16 years old. I was like, I need to find this, because it's a drive, like, it drives you.
Yeah.
But I think lots of people don't realize what they're looking for, because they keep thinking, I'm looking for appreciation or people to value me, or I want the money or the followers or whatever. But the truth is, that's not what you're looking for. You're really looking for your calling. If you can find it, go for it. And most of us can find it if we could just focus. Like, right, like, most of us can't just focus. We can't find it because we keep getting distracted by, oh, my friend now has a business, so I must do it too. Oh, like, oh, that person got promoted, so I should run behind. I think my only reason why I will continue to be in business, I will be in business for 60 more years, I know, because this is my calling. This is what I was put on the planet to do. It might take different variations, it might have different modalities, but it's the same. So I think nobody should start a career coaching business unless they understand why they're doing it. If they don't have a why, this is not the fastest way to make money, no matter what you think. Now, if you do use it to make money, then I think that that is not fair to a lot of people out there who genuinely need help. So then you just have a year-long stint and you build a lot of money, and then what? Like, you look back at it like a failure, or like it didn't work out. And who knows, it might just turn you off from business altogether. So why even risk that, right? Like, so for me, it's like, keep your job, find your calling, then leave your job, then build the calling. And that's pretty much a simple way to do it. I think the get rich quick time for coaching is gone now. You can't get rich in coaching anymore. Yes, in 2011, 2012, 2015, a lot of people got rich online. There was not a lot of competition. Ads were cheap. People were not disinformed, so everybody was giving their credit cards out. Um, but now, there is way more FTC regulations. It's more tighter in that way too. So I think it's not a good place to make a lot of money quickly. But in my opinion, only start a business when you're truly committed to the cause, right? And then business is just a way to help as many people as possible. Like we scale because we want to help,
Yeah.
right?
It's so interesting what you're sharing there because I agree so like wholeheartedly on that. If you want to build a career coaching business because you think this is a way to monetize and just make money quick, I am with you. I think go real estate, go day
Yeah.
trading,
There's
go
so many ways.
Amazon drop shipping, learn AI, and then sell that to small business. Like there's so many, there's always this like waves of businesses that you can grow and scale faster. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be a career coach and be broke, right? Like I
Yeah,
think
no, not at all.
that if you have 15, 20 years of corporate experience and you just love the mentoring, you just love helping people achieve the next stage of their career, like I do think you could build a profitable, scalable, and impactful career coaching business. But
100%.
money shouldn't be the
The driving
primary reason
No,
for it, right?
it can be.
I always ask, like when I have those discovery calls with like, is like on like what like if what 100% doing this for money, 100% doing this for impact. If we're 100% doing this for impact, then create a nonprofit. If you're 100% doing it for money, do not start a career coaching business.
Yeah.
I think that the perfect mix is like 51 49, whereas 51% for impact and then 49% for money. Great. Like as long as you have more than 51% is not the money driver, like start a career coaching business. You can make this successful.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing that because I do think that people who have corporate experience or recruiters and they see like the creator economy is booming and they see all these people making money online and they're like, well, what can I do to monetize it? I think career coaching could be a good one, but do it for the right reasons because if not, you will burn out. Like
Yeah.
it's not that
It's a
you
lot
can't
of work.
like you do it for 1 or 2 years, but you're not going to be able to compete with
In
someone
fact,
like Prashant who just loves the grind and
yeah.
loves this.
In
Just enjoy
fact,
it.
when I first started, I had a mentor who, and it's so funny because LinkedIn has connected me to so many amazing people. But like, you were asking me what I would tell my younger self, but
Yeah.
like he actually told me the right thing at the right time. So I wouldn't necessarily tell her anything. I would say, "Good job, did a great job." But he reached out to me on LinkedIn when I posted on Twitter that I'm doing this podcast on LinkedIn, and he just like randomly reached out to me and he said, "Hey, I would love to get on a call. I love this idea of your podcast." And not even a one episode was out yet. And we got on a call and he said, "Why do you want to do this podcast?" And I just didn't have an answer. I had zero answers. Like I was like, I don't know. And he's like, "That's it. Like if you can wake up and answer that question, then you could do this for a long time. Don't just be one of those podcasts that comes and goes. Make sure you build something on it if you genuinely care." And I think I always ask the why. Always, always, always. Now, even now when we're thinking about growing more, I'm like, why? Why do we want to grow? Why do we want to put this money in ads? Why? And I think a lot of people don't want to ask that why, and the why is too shallow. And they, simple exercise is the 5 why. I mean, just do the 5 why, and then you'll be
Yeah.
able to really get to the bottom of your motivations. And then the days that it gets hard, you'll be able to still push through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. 99% of podcasts do not make more than 25 episodes.
Yeah.
And I would even say 99% of career coaches don't get to 25 clients. Or, like you can always do things like that because I think most people start something and they don't have the grit and determination to keep going and thinking that, oh, their situation is so hard. Everyone's situation, there's obviously levels of difficulty, but like if you don't think that you're gonna go, like it's like I had a friend start a podcast. He wanted to start a podcast. He's like, Danny, you have a podcast for like so long, you get 350 over 300 episodes. Like, what's the secret? And I said, just consistency. He's like, but what if I suck? I'm like, go listen to episode 1. I suck too. I still suck. And I told him, I'm like, I will help you, but you have to bring and promise me that you'll do at least 25 episodes. If not,
Yeah.
like you're gonna pay me, $5,000, which is what I would charge someone to help them start a podcast, right? Like if I do it to you for free, that's the promise. He did not get to.
No.
Remind me, world. Artavan, if you're watching this, I'm coming to collect.
No, but that's the rule I used too. I said, we're going to do 25 of these in a row. We will not miss a single week. Like I was so determined. I was like, no, if I'm saying like public speaking is what I want to do, if I really enjoy it, I'm not giving up. So actually the first guest, I couldn't even find a guest. Like I messaged 31 of my friends. Nobody got back to me. Even to this day, there are 10 people on that list who have not messaged me back. Even to this day, I have a screenshot of that message from 2017. They let go of a friendship because I asked to be on my podcast. Can you believe that? That's so ridiculous. Let out of this world. But I said, no, I'm going to find someone. So I actually bullied one of my interns at work. And I'm like, you're going to be on my podcast. And she's like, I have no story. I'm like, I'm 23. Like, I'm like, tell me something special about you. She's like, I've been to 23 countries. I'm like, boom, that's the title. Let's go. So it's like I bullied people to come on the show.
I, well, you know what? That's probably why you're so quick to reply to me. Every time I ask you to be on a podcast, you're like, it's literally seconds. Like, yeah, so I appreciate
I
you because
always,
you probably know how. Like you still, I see that resentment that you built with those 10 people. So
yes.
you're
Like
like, I
31
don't want
people.
to.
Everyone said no. I thought this was going to be the easiest podcast ever. I'm a woman in STEM. I need to know at least 30. I knew. I made a list. I messaged everyone. Nobody got back to me. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
but I bet now is a lot easier. Now it's like,
Yeah, so now it's more about the focus. I mean,
yeah,
I think the only thing I would do differently is I would never stop her STEM story. If I could go back, I would do it every single week for 5, 6 years. The only reason I stopped is because of the baby and like so much happened, and I was
yeah,
like, it's just taking so much energy, and I'm not getting clients through it. But I think if I go back, I would just do it nonstop. If I did nonstop, I would be in a different place right now. Like it
yeah.
would be different.
I love podcasts. I
Yeah,
have technically I have 3 podcasts now. I
yeah,
have the How to Get a Job podcast, which is the OG. It's actually top 1% global podcast. We kind of have put this in the back burner right now because we don't have the bandwidth, but we'll bring it back. And then I have this one, which this is episode 2. So thanks for being here early. And then I have a secret podcast
I
that
know you
no one
told
knows
me.
about, which is called How Grandpa Built It. And it's just me talking to my grandkids. By the way, people, if you're watching this, I don't even have kids. So I am over here trying to leave a podcast diary of how I'm building my business.
That's so cool.
And so that's coming. But okay, so we give the advice about why someone should start the business. So let's say they start the business, and I would say the first bottleneck that a career coach faces is finding product market fit,
Yeah.
right? Finding their offer. Um, Help me understand how you went. I feel like you already had kind of clarity on your offer before you even started. Like you've always went through STEM, or did that transform where you were
Oh
broad
yeah.
coached and it started narrowing?
Oh yeah.
Walk me through that and how important is the offer or the niche here
Yeah.
in this
So
process?
so by the way, a product market fit is like it's like it's like marriage, okay? Like everything changes. Market changes, offer changes, you change, your motivations change. It's very dynamic. And I think the way it's taught in business, it's the same thing. But if you go to MBA also, they teach it in a way which is very like final. And I think the finality throws people off. It's not final. It's always working. Like you're always working on it. It's never done. Okay. And there's so many nuances to it that that only experience will teach you, like the nuances of your market and what is needed. So we just launched 2 extra offers this past year, like two extra like variations of the offer, but we didn't like really launch it, right? Like we're testing, so we test all the time. We are always testing a variation of the offer behind the scenes so that we have better opportunities to work on eventually. But I started it as a mindset coaching, right? So I was doing confidence coaching because I'm not a recruiter. I never did job search. I got hired out of college from a career fair 8 months before I graduated. I yeah, just I was very blessed. I was in the high talent pool of my company, got promotions, worked really hard too, but like job search is not my cup of tea. Like that's not something I did. Um, Even when I got a couple of offers outside of my job, they came to me, so I didn't have to work hard for them either. So I never thought of myself as a career coach. In fact, one of my biggest blocks early on was to try to accept the fact that I'm actually helping women with their careers. So there was a huge block in my head that I can't do this. And so I started, that's why it's called Believe in Your Brilliance, because that's kind of the feedback that we used to get from our clients early on as well, that, hey, you help me believe in my brilliance. And I don't know where this came from. It just came in conversations or whatever. And then I changed the name of my company. It used to be called Her STEM Consulting. I changed it. I said, no, this is our mission in life. This is all we'll do. And we'll only do it for STEM women. And so that's the only thing I knew, right? And then the offer essentially is a more tactical thing that kind of builds over time. So when I started, it was more like you pay me X amount of money, I'll meet you every week, or traditional career, like traditional coaching models, which were, very popular in 2020 and 2021. People were paying thousands of dollars just to talk to people because of how lonely we were, how alone we were, how scared we were. And then as that started to fade out, moving into the high ticket space and doing more results based coaching. And I think over time, the way the offer has been shaped over the last like the last 2.5 years, where we've intentionally been able to like change it, is like I have been very focused on results based coaching. And so even now, like I don't tell people that I'm the best person for job search. I don't know anything about job search, but I'm the best person to get you an offer. I know everything about offers. I'm offer obsessed. So I will just only focus on that. Like everything else is tactics, right? So am I the best person to do
Well,
resumes?
Prashad, I need a good resume.
No, you don't. You need an offer. Why do you need a resume? You need it for an offer, right? So it's more like the combination of strengths that me and my team have will get you an offer. So that's kind of how I've shaped it. But again, like I said, it's always evolving, and the only way you can do it really well, Daniel, is like if you sit with your clients, if you sit with your prospects. So the fact that I took these 1,100 calls, which again, like I said, by Friday I'll have the number, but whatever amount of calls I've taken over the last few years, all of them taught me something about like what they want. And then on the other side of delivery, it's only in July that I outsourced my delivery. Like until July, I was doing all the sales calls. I was taking 174 calls a month. So you get 174. And then if somebody messaged me like at 8 p.m. that I have an interview tomorrow, I get on call. So what that means is I just understand that market so well, and it's going to take someone many, many years to like know that, because people don't want to do that kind of hard work. Like people tell me all the time, I can never take those many calls. And I'm like, okay, sure. Like you just would never understand the market as well, right? So I think the product market fit comes from listening, it comes from data, and it comes from being flexible, because a lot of people are stuck in their own way. They just don't want to move. They think I know everything about resume. See, I was telling Natty the other day, and she's like, why do you give people credit for your success? Like you need to accept that you did this and whatever. And I'm like, but you know what? The truth is I don't know anything. And that's awesome, because I don't want to know anything. I'm not the best at anything. So what that means is I'm more flexible with how to change things. Now, if you talk to a traditional recruiter or someone who comes from a FANG background or is set in their ways of like how things are done, they don't change their approach. I mean, I know so many career coaches, they have not changed their program even this bit in the last 2 years. And my program changes every month. We add something, we remove something, we improve something, we add a new thing, we fix something. We're like, oh, you have this problem, let's build this for you. Like, so we're always like, it's like a lab for us, right? We're always building something inside. When I was alone, I was doing it with the help of you guys. Now that I have a team, their goal is also every month you have to present a new initiative, you have to fix a new problem. Um, so offer market fit is like product market fit is a myth. It doesn't exist. You'll never get there. But the closer you are to the market, the better product you can build. And at the end of the day, like I said, result obsessed. So you can only build good products when you're really obsessed with the outcome. If you're obsessed with features, forget about it. I mean, you will build something that is ridiculously useless.
Prashad, we talked about having the right mindset or when you're ready to start a career coach. We talked about, your journey of why niching is important, product market fit.
Yeah.
One thing you did differently is differently than let's say the route that I took is that you grew and scaled through Instagram and ads primarily versus LinkedIn. LinkedIn is there. You have a pretty good LinkedIn account, but I would say like compared to other coaches, like your LinkedIn account is it's average, or
Yeah.
like it's good, like in terms of following and engagement and so on like that, right? Let's talk about that because a lot of people, and I'll tell you, and I'll tell you my experience. You already know this, but I'll just publicly say my experience with. I started I focused on LinkedIn. I focused on one offer, one avatar, one marketing channel. That was LinkedIn. LinkedIn got me to a point where I was doing $80,000 to $100,000 a month organically, no paid ads. But that's where I capped. And I'll tell you guys publicly, I think it's very difficult for you to do more than $80,000 to $100,000 a month on LinkedIn organic. I think that's where it caps, even if you have 1 million followers. So unless Austin Belsick tells me otherwise, I just don't. I think that's where we're at, right?
Yeah.
And I tried ads. I've tried ads 3 different times in my business. Never have been able to just get it in a sustainable ROAS way. And I've worked with agencies, and I know we'll talk about that. And my advice to my clients and my coaches is like, hey, ads is adding gasoline to the fire. If you don't have the right systems in place, and if you haven't already proven your offer on organic, I would not suggest starting out with ads because you're gonna lose, you're gonna burn a lot of money before it works. And most people don't have the gut or the grit or determination to go so much money without losing ads. And so therefore, it's not the first place I would start. I would love for you to explain why did you go with ads instead of
Yeah.
tripling down on LinkedIn like everyone else was doing? And what advice do you have? And I'm saying all this because I know I'll let you talk for 15 minutes or so, right?
No worries. No
And
worries.
then what advice do you have for coaches that want to start with ads, earlier on? And like when do you think is the right time, or when do you like just get organic on LinkedIn going?
Yeah. So I think the easy answer to that is I had to pay my mortgage, so I didn't have monies. I was running out of monies, and I needed money, and organic was driving me nuts. Like there was no lever to it, right? Like and I've consistently doubled down on Instagram from early on. I've done the outreaches, I've done the DMs, I did myself. I used to book calls, I used to do all that. But every marketing channel eventually maxes out, right? So why do you think Coca-Cola does ads? Coca-Cola doesn't need to sell more Coca-Cola. Like they already sell so much of it. But you would always have to work harder to get your customer down the road, right? Like Hormozy says this too a lot. It's like the cheapest customer is the one you got yesterday, and the most expensive one is still coming, right? So it's always CAC is always. I mean, Netflix. There's a case study on Netflix, and their CAC is just used to be just horrendous. Like just like 10 years ago, like they couldn't even like get clients. Like it's so difficult. So I think customer acquisition is a more complicated game than organic versus ads. And I think I learned that lesson the hard way where my organic never picked up because of the niche I'm in. So attracting the just that right set of people through content was harder. Now, if I coached random, like not random, but like an open market of like, hey, I'll help you get a job, 100% it would have scaled for me. Right. One, I refused to use that language because, like I said, I never believed that I could do it. I hadn't done enough testing on my offer. Plus two, that wasn't what I wanted to do anyway. So I was not willing to bend on my language, my messaging until I had something solid. Um, and and so that's why I was just like getting lost, right? Like I was getting lost in the content, but in the sense that my organic would never pick up. Yes, I would have a few viral posts or whatever, but I just never got that organic momentum that a lot of people got coming out of 2020. But I got a lot of sales momentum. I got a lot of clients. So I chose to focus on sales. So the difference between the two is if you focus on vanity metrics and followers, they may lead to sale. That's that theory, right? Like, and it did for you guys because you were early adopters. You were in the platform earlier than the rest of us, right? We got there 5 years too late, right? By the time we got there, there was just too much crowd. And so if I focus on vanity metrics, I don't eat. That's the problem. Okay. Like, because this is my primary source of income as a family. If I focus on sales, then I get to eat, right? Like I get to pay the bills. And so for me, it was more of a survival strategy, Daniel, than a smart approach of like, this is how we're going to scale or whatever.
Yeah.
It was more like the bills are not getting paid. This is not consistent. I can't do this anymore. Like it's not going anywhere. And even though I was having $20,000 week, I did a $56,000 a month on organic. I also did another 60,000 a month on organic. The issue I had with organic was I could not predict the next month. I just could not do it. Like there was no metrics, there was no lever, there was no leading indicators to this world of like, is it the post that's doing it? Is it the comments that are doing it? Which one is it? Right? Like, so for me, that was very nerve wracking, knowing that my family depends on me. So what I actually ended up doing was in 2020, when I finally came back from maternity leave, and like I said, okay, I'm going all in, I got a coach who taught me how to do sales, how to do marketing. But in that process, they figured out my product wasn't that great either. So I think it was like I said, because I didn't have the right offer, my organic didn't scale. Because I didn't have the right organic traffic, I didn't know what to offer. So then when I finally worked on just focusing on sales, ads is the fastest way to get sales, no matter where you're at, no matter what you do. It's also actually, if you look at it time-wise, it's also the cheapest way to get clients. Organic is the cheapest way in the sense that it's more dependent on luck than anything else because there's no way algorithms change every single day. Like, how do you control that beast? You don't, right? Like, that's why even Kardashians have to run ads because they don't know where to go. But I think for me, I think it was the audience that was like so niche that I couldn't just speak to the whole crowd and attract the right type of people. And maybe there was some luck there too that it just never picked up. And I just hit 25,000 on Instagram. Took 7 years. 7 years. Like it's like so inefficient from that perspective. So I think one day I'll have tons of followers and I know why it didn't work out early on, but it just didn't. And I tried everything. I'm telling you, I woke up at 4, I did the contents, I did the agencies, I did
Yeah.
everything. But then I said, no, I need to focus on sales. I don't care how many followers I have. I don't care about organic. Um, and that's kind of when I went towards ads and what that gave me more than anything else. And I think, again, people can look at this differently, right? Like some people can say I put 2,000 and didn't get 20. because people, like you said, have a very high, um, very low threshold on risk, but also very high affinity to profit. Like for me, 3x is enough. I'm okay with it. I can live with it. I am very happy with 3x. And I don't try to force that. I didn't try to force that until this year. Now, this year, we're working on making that ROAS better, but that was never my metrics to focus on. My metrics is scale, right? That consistency. For me, it gave me the lever that if I put $100 and if it's $1 a lead, I get 100 people to talk to. And out of those 100 people, the average is that I get X amount of clients. Once I had that math figured out, all of 2024, I was doing so much math on this. I was still making only 20K a month. It wasn't a big deal. But that's what gave me the confidence to feel like an entrepreneur, feel like a business owner, that I have some skin in the game. Before, I felt like I was at mercy of the algorithms and none of them are working. So I think that was my like last straw, was that I can't build something if I have no pull. Like, how do you do that? Eventually it's going to give, like you said, eventually it's going to disappear. So, okay, maybe I would have had $1 million month on organic, $1 million year on organic, but I would never have $1 million month on organic. Never. It's never going to happen. So it had so I was just a little bit more frustrated, but also in some ways foresighted that it may work, but it would not work long term.
I, I would say like I see a lot of what you're saying. I think for me, I see part of it differently because I do think that there is a predictable way to generate income on LinkedIn organic. I can't speak about any other platform because I'm just not as
Yeah. No. I think
educated
that it's
in it.
predictable. I mean, we
And
were
I
doing
think
predictable on Instagram too. Like we were doing outreach.
yeah,
I
no,
don't
there
X amount of messages. You book X on the calls. Like, yes, like
yeah.
that system still works, but it doesn't scale. That's the problem.
Yeah, I would agree 100% is that the plateau goes to 80 to $100,000 a month, and that's where you're gonna get stuck at. And you don't need 100,000 followers to get there. Like I think
No.
that LinkedIn
Because
itself,
I
like
was there, right? I did
yeah,
100K. I did up to 190K on organic per year. From that point on, I just changed my strategy because I said long term also, like I'm just trying to balance short term and
yeah,
long term. Plus, the niche also matters. One
yeah,
of the reasons, the difference in our what do you call it, in your ad experience and mine is different because B2C is a cheaper way to get clients. B2B ads are much more different and it's another beast. So
yeah.
that's just my experience. But ads are changing so rapidly. It's crazy.
I think from again, I did B2C when I first did it for Mastering College Care. It's me. I think I didn't stick with it long enough, right? Like it's like I didn't have the gut to keep losing money. And I'm like, well, I have organic, but I
Yeah.
kept coming back to it for the same point. It's like if I want to do $1 million a month, I can't do that at
Yes.
organic. Like I'm
It
plateaued
is
there.
going to.
So I'm
Yeah.
back at it. I'm back on
Yeah.
I'm
You'll
trying to
figure it
solve
out. I mean, I truly believe all problems are solvable. So you'll figure it out. I mean, again, if you like the theory of it is like that's how this is the pushback we get in career coaching also, right? It's like networking doesn't work. And it's like, okay, but like the theory of it is like we are all connected by 6 people. So it's not even like up for discussion, right? Like it's not for discussion whether it works or not. It's about figuring out how it will work for you. That's all it is.
yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
that's what I think it comes down to. But I think what has happened is like I kind of told you, and I actually did a webinar for your community, but Maya was telling me too the other day. She's like, that webinar really helped me a lot because, and I said, yeah, I've kind of done a master's in ads at this point. Like I know enough about them. Like I will learn my creatives. I did all the elements. So I just wanted to learn them because to me, like if I don't know it, then I'm at the mercy of a lot of people who are going to take me for a ride. Now I still pay a lot of agencies, a lot like one agency, a lot of money to do this, but I know exactly what I want. And so that
Yeah.
helps a lot. So I think getting educated on it is also very important, but you can't play it for short term at all. Like it's
Yeah.
like, and it's so complicated. It changes all the time. And I
Yeah.
think most of us just don't like that stress of it. Like it's just like organic too. Like I don't like the stress of organic. Like I just can't deal with it. To me, it's like complete black hole just because never worked, right? So it just didn't get to a place where I wanted it to be. But funny enough, January, we had the biggest month ever, 60% organic. Ad outreaches on Instagram, right? So
Well,
it's still a
they start
combination.
working together, right? It's not
Yeah.
like team ads or team organic.
No, they
Uh,
see us, so they remember us.
yeah,
That's what.
they'll start working together because you might get visibility through the ads, but then they go to your LinkedIn and then they see your Instagram and we're
Yeah, and I
going to
think
this trust recession and that's you
yeah,
need to have you need it
and I think
eventually you need both.
at 100%. I agree. I mean, I think you can't survive either or. I think some people try to go all ads. I have met people who don't have link, like no presence, no Instagram presence, no link. You can't find these people, but they run ads through like these weird shady ad accounts, right? And I'm like, how is someone going to hand you their credit card? Because remember this, getting leads is a different problem than getting sales. And we close 30% on complete cold audience. Our time to close from the minute they see us to the minute they give us the credit card ranges anywhere from 7 to 30 days. So this is like so cold because that's where you need extreme sales mastery. Like you really need to be focused on sales too,
Yeah.
right? It's one thing to book calls. It's another thing to convert those completely cold people.
Yeah.
So again, being in sales, doing it myself, I have,
Yeah.
again, lost a lot of money, but at the same time, I've learned so many things that I feel confident that, hey, if I put like today, I feel confident if I put 60K in ads, we'll be fine. Like I'm
Yeah.
just choosing not to right now
Okay.
because it's not smart.
And I want us to wrap this up and
Yes,
kind
please.
of recap a lot of this, but like you've said so many things in this podcast which are incredible. And I think that the main things that I like, if I am wanting to like say my little sister to listen to this and they're about to start, there's two to three things that I really take away here. And you said a million, but one is you are so good at saying, okay, what is the things that actually matter? And like two things to say, you're sales obsessed and you're offer obsessed. You don't care about the leads, you don't care about the resume, you don't care about the like all these other things are just laggard indicators of what really matters, which is offers for your clients and revenue and sales for your company, right? Everything else is serving to those goals. So you're like saying, what ad will get me more leads? No, what ad will get me more sales? Like, it's not, will this resume get me more interviews? No, what resume will get me more offers, right? So, like,
Exactly.
that's like, you're just super
Yeah.
hyper focused and you're
Yeah.
saying no to everything
And I
else.
think the easiest way you can frame it is like and I learned this in MBA. Leading indicators are how you act every day. Lagging indicators are what you obsess over every night. Right? Like you wake up and you say, what are my leading indicators? You go to bed and saying, what's my lagging indicator? Most people
Mm,
can't find the difference between the two.
yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. And then the last, the second takeaway that you said, you s- that you're like, I'm not the smartest. I just find people who've done it and then just get their advice on that thing. And I think you do such a good job at compartmentalizing those things. And it's the same thing. Like I love Hermosi for business. I don't agree with a lot of the personal things he wants to do.
Yeah.
Like I want to build a family. I want to build a legacy. So do I say Hermosi is the devil? No, like there's great practical business advice for that. And so I see him as a role model or an influencer or like a virtual mentor or actually mentor because I pay a lot of money to work with this team because I know you do too.
Yeah.
And but I only take the areas that I admire about it and also ignore the
Mm,
areas that I don't admire about him about it. Right. So yeah.
mm. Yeah.
And you do that so good. And so bravo
Thank
to you.
you. Thank you.
Um Prasha, any last words or if people wanted to learn more about you, connect with you,
Yeah.
what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't do any business coaching yet, and I'm hoping not to go down that path for another 5 years. But if you ever wanted to chat, but I love talking about business. I love talking about just like all the lessons I've learned, and it's one of my. That's why I mean all of you guys, like whether it's you or um Maya or anyone, like I'm always available. Like that day she messaged me, I had 10 minutes. I'm like, let's get on call. Like who cares? Like this is fun stuff to talk about. So you can always message me on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. Prasha with two H's and Dutra. And you could just send me a message and we can have a chat about your business and whatever you're trying to accomplish. Of course, if you want help with job search, we only help women in STEM. So you can always reach out to us through any of the links, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram. And yeah, my last message would be just like I said, just focus on your calling. If you can find it, it's one of the best gifts, and you can endure anything. And it comes from Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, right? If you know the why,
Yeah.
you can endure anyhow. So I think that just is like engraved in my brain ever since I read that book in 11th standard. A very tough book to read as a young person, but it got like etched in my brain that if I know the why, I can figure the how out. So most people are just hyper focused on the how and they don't even know the why. So I think that's like stop chasing your tail. Just focus on the why. You'll go so far and you'll have fun. Like that's the whole point. I'm not doing this for anything else, but just because it's the best way to spend my life on this planet.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
You're so awesome. Thank you so much. I I just can't thank you enough for our friendship, for trusting us to work together last year, and for always be willing to help the community come, whether it's a community event or the podcast. You're always so like there's no question, like yes. And
Yeah.
so thank you so
And
much.
anyone should hire you guys. I mean, if you're starting, if I had you guys starting out, I think I would have done a few things differently and sooner because again, we get very obsessed in sales and marketing. We don't build a good product. But I think sales and marketing helped me fund building the product. So it kind of panned out fine. But I think if people are just starting out, you guys do a great job of like teaching people how to help other people. So, um, there's no one who does what you guys do. So you guys have a really great niche as well. So I think more people should invest with you guys.
Thanks, Prasha. Thanks
Awesome.
everyone for watching. See you guys on the next
Take
episode.
care.
And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss another amazing episode every week on Tuesday, 9 a.m. EST if you want to watch it live.
You guys, thank you for having me, Daniel. Bye.